Brian Freeman, a mechanical engineer and the Directorate of Public Works, joined me this morning. Brian, good morning.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. This month, we're celebrating or observing energy awareness. Tell our workforce, what does this mean?
Well, energy awareness is in October, and it's just, it's a good time to have this because the weather's starting to turn. You can do a few things around the house without just burning up. So, but energy awareness is, if they want to, make you aware of the energy security of the nation and the consumption of the, nation, and then what's happening with you at your workplace and then at home. So, just kind of bring it back up in your mind. It affects your family budget. There's a lot of things that energy affects. So it needs to be at the forefront of your thoughts during this month.
And I'm sure it is because, as you talked about utilities, certainly that has to be worked into our budget. Never know when the costs may fluctuate. But let's talk about here on the depot with the installation this size. I'm sure there's a lot of water, electricity, and natural gas being consumed. About how much each year?
Right now, this past year, we spent about $8 million in electricity, and it's roughly 2.7 for natural gas. And that was a slight increase from 18. And we kind of look at that. We've gone back and looked at the man hours and the degree days or ben hours. There's ways to measure. And so there's been, some warmer weather, and there's been some things that help drive that cost up.
Okay, so how does this compare to over the last few years? Has our energy consumption, has it increased or decreased?
We've been fairly steady. We've done about, since 2003, we've done enough projects that would offset our avoided cost of about $7 million. So if you were not to have done those projects, looking at our cost now of $8 million could possibly be $15 million. So we've taken steps to, work toward reducing energy, but there's things that we can do to continue to do that just by closing doors and observing, machinery that's running that should not be running or leaking faucets. Just anything you can do, just treat the depot like you would at home. I mean, you're not going to walk by and leave things running.
That's good advice. Brian, a couple of years ago over on what used to be the Buffalo Peanut, but of course now that's home to our solar panels. Has that benefited the depot?
It has. There's, and this is a little bit lengthy definition of what happens. But, we were given guidance, and I'm going to kind of read here, but agencies may use all of the following options for meeting renewable electrical requirements and should prioritize renewable energy strategies. So there's things that went into this years ago, starting in about 2007. So we started looking at everything. We worked with Auburn University on a couple of projects. We went to Alabama Power. We went to Huntsville and looked at some of their things. They were taking trash and converting to steam, and now they're going to steam and electricity. We went to South Carolina and looked at a biomass plant there. So we started taking steps to meet the renewable requirements, and there's also a longer term issue there for resiliency too. So we were able to look at that, and we got involved with EITF, which is Energy Initiative Task Force out of Washington. They worked brokered a deal with Alabama Power, so we were able to locate these panels on our property, which is a double credit for us, and we're able to purchase the renewable energy at our same rate that we normally pay. So if you were to try to go out and purchase renewable energy, it would be about 22 cents to 28 cents per kWh. So we're buying it at 6 cents a kilowatt hour. So there's a benefit there. There's a benefit to locating it on the property. And there's a long-term goal of having security, of having our own power generated on our facility.
Okay.
So there's some things laying out there that can't be seen right now, but there's a couple things we have benefited from right now. It's that cost.
Okay, and those two fields, one's located over where the former Buffalo Pen was, and the other's out beyond the ALA?
It's in the old D-Mill.
D-Mill facility.
When they cleared out that facility, we took advantage of that level space. And so we have a total of 7.4 megawatts, about 90 acres.
Okay.
Of solar panels located out here. And us and Fort Rucker were the first two for the Army. So, we made a big step there for the Army.
That's to help us be
In Alabama,
self-sufficient
yeah. Mhm.
here on the property.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about some additional energy reduction projects that have taken place throughout the depot.
We completed in 18 a UESC, which is a utility energy savings contracts. There's several different ways to do that, but you work with your utility provider, which it sounds kind of funny that they'd come in and want you to save energy and they would help you do it, but it allows them to distribute their energy consumption throughout their distribution and possibly, take home energy savings and things that or energy reduction loads on their equipment. So yes, we did 14 or 15 energy saving measures out here. We replaced the boiler plant. We had 2 very old, large boilers that were, oversized, and 1 that was on its last leg. So we have 3 new boilers, all identical. So everything worked out well. We downsized tremendously there. And then we went from relighting the depot. There's a lot of projects we put in, and the theoretical return is about $2 million a year. So that was another plus to avoided cost to us.
Okay. Brian, earlier you talked about some ways that we can cut back on energy consumption here on the depot and as well as at home. Anything else you'd like to share along those lines?
Well, it's just like, what your dad used to say to you, you're raised in a barn. Keep the doors closed as much as possible, especially in these conditioned buildings, of course, heated or air. And just, treat it like you would your home. I mean, you live out here almost more than you do at home. So,
True.
And as taxpayers, you want to be, aware of what you're doing to the taxpayer. If you're wasting, you don't want to do that. So
We want to be prudent when it comes to uses of taxpayers' funds. So thank you for those reminders. I'm certain that there's a role. We all play a role in reducing our energy consumption here. So simple things do add up and make a huge difference. So Brian, if people would like to know more following today's show, how can they contact you?
you could reach me at 4888.
Okay. Well, we thank you so much for joining us this morning, and certainly looking forward to those numbers continually to decrease.
Thank you.
Thank you.